TJ, and this is Nativerezmedia, your place for opinionated tech news, reviews, and entertainment. And today I'm going to be bringing you guys a head-to-head comparison of the GSI X-29 versus the Moza KS wheel, and my opinion on why you should choose one or the other. I'm going to be giving you the good, the bad, the ugly of both, and we're going to go from there. So without further ado, let's just jump right into this. On the counter here, I have my Moza R12 wheelbase because I have the Simucube Sport on my rig. That came with the X-29 here. It was like a bundled deal for less than $1,000. Anyone who knows about either of these know that's a great deal. But that is not what this video is about. I'm going to be comparing these two, and I'm going to be going over the buttons. I'm going to be going over the actual structure and the structural integrity of the wheels, the quick disconnects, things like that, and the paddles and whatnot. So we're going to start off with the buttons. So on the right here, the X-29, the buttons, they are very tactile. They feel solid. They have RGB built in, RGB built in. So they do change colors. They light up. There is no stickers on here. The symbols that are on the buttons, they are kind of etched on there. So they are built in. You can't change it at all. But they do feel good. There is no vibration on these buttons. So that is nice and premium. If we move over to the left here on the KS wheel, the buttons actually, believe it or not, feel very similar. Sound the same too. Let me get quiet here. You can hear the difference. KS, X-29. This one's a little bit more high pitch, and on the KS you can hear the difference in the sound a little bit because of the resonance coming from the kind of plastic, it's like a carbon fiber plastic mix. I forgot the name of the compound. They said it's with I don't know, some carbon composite, but makes like a lower tone sound. But that's the buttons. They both feel good. But on the Moza, that's one of the negatives. One of my buttons on I got it labeled pit here because this does come with stickers on the KS. It has a little bit of a rattle. I don't think it's not a bad thing, but if you got haptics like I have on my rig, when it vibrates at a certain frequency, you can kind of hear that button rattle a little bit. Well, that's what you get sometimes. Still feels good. It's not too bad, but I don't think these buttons really have anything kind of behind them, pushing them up into the frame to give it. I think you can hear it a little bit if I tap it. A little bit of rattle on that button, but not bad. There's pretty much no rattle on the X-29, and being that the price tag is $650, it shouldn't have any rattle. This one is half that at $280 retail, MSRP $650, $280, just in case you didn't know. So more than double the price for this one on my right, your left. Then we're gonna make our way to the kind of, I guess this is the 7-way or the funky switch here. They feel pretty good. So there's 4-way toggles there, not 7-way on that. You can press down and you can rotate both sides on this one. On the Moza KS, it does have the 4-way hat switch there. You can press it down, but it doesn't rotate. But with that being said, there is a compromise that the Moza KS has that this one doesn't, and we're going to jump right into that. So other than those switches, which they both feel pretty good, it just depends on your preference. This one has a little bit more of an indentation in the top here where you can just sit your finger in and move it around. This one doesn't have that. But, it does twist and has a nice little bit of grip to twist it. This one has some grip on the side, as though you can twist it, but don't try to twist that. One thing to note, you can't twist this, but this one does have the adjustments built into the handles here for brake bias and your differential. So you can twist these. It's nice and notchy. The X-29 doesn't have that. So you have your funky switch here where you can twist it, but it doesn't have the twist in the handles. So I think that's a compromise and something that's, honestly, this would win. I would choose this with the brake bias in the handle over the funky switches here where you can twist them, because I have to take my hand off the wheel to twist it if I map brake bias or the diff to these switches. So I think that's a win for Moza for adding that on there. I don't know, but it's up to you. That's just an opinion. Let me move this off to the side a little bit. Now, then we're gonna move into these knobs in the middle, the encoders here. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you. The GSI encoders, they feel cool. They, feel like any other encoders. You got a nice little bit of tactile feel, some grip on them. But when you move over to this KS one, it sounds better. It feels better for less price. So you can hear that nice tactile click. If you go to the GSI here, again, feels nice, but it's just not the same. This one just, I don't know. These feel premium on here. It just is what it is. So that's one thing. These three encoders, the KS wins on that one. Buttons, this one, obviously both buttons feel the same, but without the rattle, this one's gonna win on that one. Now, when you make your way to the handles here and the grips, I prefer the GSI grips here. The X-29's grips, this rubber on here, it's like a soft rubber. It's like, I don't know if you ever had a soft touch phone or anything with that soft touch kind of feel to it. That's what this feels like, but it also is rubber, so it is also a nice kind of soft rubber. When you squeeze it, obviously it's not going to give too much, but it's a smoother, more premium feeling rubber. The grips on here are thicker. My hands are, a decent size. So when I grip this wheel, I don't feel any discomfort. It's just pretty nice when gripping it. Now, moving over to the KS wheel here, the rubber on here, it doesn't feel bad. It does not feel premium. It does not feel cheap. But it's thin. It's a thinner grip, and when you are gripping this, and if you grip it for long enough, this knob or this notch here where your thumb kind of swings over, just above that in your palm, it does start to irritate your palms a little bit when you're gripping it. If you grip it tight, depending on what your newton meters are set on your wheel, if you got 17, 12, whatever, you start to feel that a little bit. On this one, you don't feel it as much because these are a little bit thicker and you can get your hands wrapped around them. So with that being said, I think I'd give it to the X-29 on that grip, of course. Moza, you would have to wrap some tape around here to kind of build it up to feel like that. They could have just made this a little bit thicker, I would say, and you'd be fine. Now, let's get into the frame and everything on here. This one is kind of built up of all, I think this is aluminum. It's either aluminum or steel. I don't know. Again, I'm not a metallurgist, but it's a nice metal on here all around. Even the front plate onto the back. It's got some weight to it, nice and hefty. When you pick up the Moza, it's definitely lighter. I don't have the exact specs for the weights. I'll get them, put them on the screen, do a little bit of looking up there. But this one is definitely lighter because of this carbon composite plastic. A lot of people say, oh, it's plastic. It's plastic, but you can tell that it has some, some kind of inset, and then you can tell it's carbon fiber, and it's like a polymer. So it is not cheap. And they say, carbon fiber is super, it's not that expensive. So for them to make this whole thing out of carbon fiber, I don't think it would be that more expensive to make it. For them to make it out of the plastic that they make it out of, that polymer, it still feels good, and it's very sturdy, just like this. So I don't think this is going to break at any time unless you just bang it on the ground. So it's nice and sturdy. I won't give them a knock for using the material that they did, obviously trying to keep the price down. And this one here, I'm not going to give them a knock for using the material that they did. This is obviously going to be probably a little bit stronger than this. Maybe have a little bit more tensile strength when it comes to that. So obviously going to give the win to the X-29. It is more costly wheel, but this one I can give it a win because it is light. It does, when you put it on your wheel, you're gonna get a little bit more of that force feedback feel because it is lighter. Or when you put it on your base, you're gonna get a little bit more of that feel because it's lighter. Your base, no matter if you got some low Newton meters or high, you can feel a little bit more of the rumble coming through this wheel. Again, this was not bad. This was a smaller wheel. I think it's 290 millimeter versus this one being 300 millimeters. So this one's going to be a little bit more wide. This one's going to come in that 10 millimeters. You really can't tell the difference that much, but I can tell, but it's not that big of a difference. And you can look at them and see, putting them up against each other. They're but basically both the same size, but Then I'm going to make my way to the back side here. If you look here, let me hold it up so you can see a little bit there. On the X-29, I had to put this mounting plate on here, or this QD, this quick disconnect here. This is for the SimuCube. You have to purchase this separate. This is like another $69 or whatever just for this quick disconnect, because this doesn't come with anything. So you can connect it to any kind of base, because with that you use this plug. They got their own little proprietary plug, I think, or I'm not going to say it's proprietary, but they come with a different plug than just a USB or Ethernet cable or anything like that. Or like, what is it? SimMagic has their like MagSafe kind of plug that you plug into there. But you plug that in there, screw it in. It's not coming out. It's not going anywhere. Excuse me. Plug it into your computer. You're good to go. So yeah, you're going to $650 plus another $70. 700 plus. What is that? Yeah, $700 plus just for this. And it doesn't even have the dual clutch. If you want to go with the dual clutches on here, you're going to pay another $100 something. So this is going to be an $800 something wheel by the time you get done with it. Almost $900 for this wheel. I don't know. Could you justify that? Don't tell your wife or your girlfriend. $900 for this wheel. $280. It comes with everything. You got your paddle shifters. You got your clutches. Comes with your QD for your Moza system or any NRG style connection, and you're good to go. Now, when it comes to the clutch system, you can hear that. This is carbon fiber on the GSI. Got some nice tactile clicks. No doubt, it feels good. This has a different type of switching mechanism. It has a switch wired up into it. I'll try to get a close-up of that. And it just clicks. Feels good. It's got a decent short throw. I'd say, what? I don't know, 10, 20, 15 millimeter throw. I don't know. About a centimeter. Feels good and is very tactile. Can't say anything about the dual clutches because it's not there. You have the holes in the back here for it. So I don't know. I'm sure you can upgrade this if you want. I assume that the PCB probably has something to where you can just plug in the clutches if you have those, or if you purchase them in the future. The combo that I got, it came with this wheel without the clutches on there. Now, when you get the Moza KS wheel, guess what? You're going to get those clutches on there already. Everything on the back here is aluminum. These are aluminum shifter paddles. There is no adjustment on these. Oh, and on the X-29, you can adjust them. You can move them around the front or the back. There is no real adjustment for in and out to make them stick out further, but you can also just buy some bigger paddles because you can take the paddles off of there. So that is something to note. On here, you can't do any of that. You probably have to do some drilling and some dremeling and stuff like that if you want to move these or adjust them a little bit. The throw, I would say, is a little bit more throw. This just has a slightly shorter throw. You can hear this has been muted. I have the CS wheel over there, and it's a lot more loud. It's metal on metal. It bangs a little bit. Let me grab it real quick. So this is the Moza CS wheel, and you can hear it. A lot more throw. It's magnetized. It's gonna click. I put a little bit of rubber on this one to stop the pull sound, and I just didn't put it on that one because I wanted to compare the two. So that's that wheel. Let me set that right there. And on the KS, you can hear it, and you can hear the resonance coming from the actual structure of the wheel. Just a different sound. I would have liked to hear that, I guess plastic or metal on metal, because the housing is metal. The only thing that is plastic is this part. So the pull would have been muted, but it would have had a nice click when you let it go, but they muted it on both sides. Not bad, still feels good. And this doesn't have a clicky switch. I think this is a Hall sensor, if I'm not mistaken. This uses Hall sensors, and the dual clutch side down here uses Hall sensors. And you can go into the Moza Pit House software, get it all set up. You can do different things with the clutches, and so it's nice. Everyone knows that the NRG quick disconnect that's on here is one of the best. It's industry standard, feels good, clicks in, no doubt. So I mean, you're gonna get the whole package with this, but you know what you're paying for. I'm not going to be sad about getting rid of the X-29, so that's why I might just, I'm probably going to stick with the KS because I like it so much. The only bad thing, if I do stick with the KS and I use the SemiCube, then I got to go out and buy Moza's hub, because this has to be connected via the little Ethernet cable to the hub so that I can use this with Pit House, go in and adjust everything. So it's going to be wired, and yeah, so it's going to basically be the same as this if I keep it with that, versus if I kept the R12, you just plug it in, plug and play, you're good to go. So I got some decisions to make over the next week or so. I'll be trying to narrow it down, but I'm not even going to, again, I'm not going to do a comparison of this bass versus that bass. It's anyone who's anyone. I can compare them and say, oh, the R12, it is, yeah. I have the R12. I've played with it with this. I haven't played with it with that, but it feels good. It is a great bass for what it is. But if you're talking price for price, this is 600 or 580, that's 600. That one's going to be a winner. Anybody will tell you that. It is what it is. Software for those things is not that good. Pit House is probably the best software. I'm not going to say it sucks, but it's not on Moza Pit House's level. But I can get that to feel like this, but I can't get this to feel like that. That's basically what I'm saying. So if they're going to be about the same price, you might as well stick with the SemiCube. So that is that. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, anything, just leave them down below. I know this was a long, drawn out kind of comparison video. I'll try to cut through it a little bit and piece it together. Thank you guys for watching. Peace out.